In today's video, we are giving you guys a first-hand look at Brighton's hottest and largest community, Brighton Crossing. Welcome back to the Living in Brighton YouTube channel. My name is Mitch.
And I'm Scott.
We're your favorite redheaded realtors. Let's dive on in. So to kick the video off, we're going to jump on the computer and show you a map view because Brighton Crossing is absolutely massive, and we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't show you the map to give you some context as to the location of the neighborhood and the overall size of the neighborhood, along with some of the amenities that the neighborhood offers as well. So let's cut to that. But before we do, we have some super important information down in the description. So while the video is playing, go ahead and click that description, give that a read.
So let's dive into the map tour.
All right, so as we mentioned before, this is going to be a hybrid video map tour slash vlog tour. So we're gonna show you what we're talking about on the map, where it's at on the map, and provide you with some more context by actually going out and showing you the neighborhood. Because you can sit around on the computer, on Zillow, on websites all day, every day, looking, but what you can't see from the map is what the surrounding area, what the neighborhood actually looks like and feels like as you're walking or driving through it. So, for some context, because we're talking about Brighton Crossing, and show you where it's at. So this down here, where my mouse is downtown Brighton, Old Brighton, right off of Highway 85. And of course, this highway right here is Highway 76 to the east side. Now, we've mentioned a lot in our videos about Bar Lake State Park, so you can see where that is at right here. Now, we zoom in here, you can kind of see Brighton Crossing is absolutely huge, and it's one of the most popular and in-demand neighborhoods in all of Brighton. Now, Brighton Crossing spans 3 different sides currently, and there's more development being planned, more builders planning on moving in the very near future. So right now, this very moment, the day we're making this video, the current builders in Brighton Crossing are Brookfield and DR Horton. We're going to show you both of what they have to offer in their product lines. Both of those on the Brighton Crossing website advertised starting in the 5s. That's pretty realistic as far as finished prices. DR Horton is actually going to be on the higher end of the 5s, high 5s, maybe even low 6s, depending on the house that you build with them. Brookfield is definitely going to be low to mid 5s all in. So taking a look at the map again right here. So on this part of Brighton Crossing, so this is the northeast side of the neighborhood. Hearthstone Ave right here is going to be the border of Brighton Crossing in a different subdivision and development. So right in here, Slate River, Bear Creek, Piney River, Plum Creek, you have some single family residences that were built by David Weekley and Brookfield in the past, a few years ago, lining the outside. On the interior here, Colorado River Ave, Slate River Place, Bear Creek Court are all going to be Brookfield's paired home collection. They sold out of those earlier this year. They were really neat because all of them have side yards. A lot of builders in Colorado, when they build a duplex, just build a duplex, you don't get a lot of space. Really great for low maintenance living, but they're charging as much as most other properties are. So it's really cool to see these Brookfield ones come in initially in the 3s by closeout in the low to mid 4s with side yards and a ton of great amenities. Now down here we have some more single family residences. As you can see right here, we can highlight over these, and then we can cross over 50th right here. So 50th is a big main dividing street in the neighborhood. We go up here, this 168th Ave turns into Baseline as you take it west. And for the locals that are watching this video, Baseline, that's the same Baseline that goes into Boulder. If you're not a local watching this video, 168th Avenue will take you all the way into Boulder, Colorado. So we cross 50th. This is the new part of the neighborhood that is currently being built. And this is where Brookfield and DR Horton are building at. And then we come across 160th, or Bridge Street as we refer to it in most of our other videos. This was another part of Brighton Crossing that closed out just a few years ago. So back here on the northeast side, this is the original Brighton Crossing. This is what was built first. This is what was built second. This is what is being built right now. So like I said, Brookfield, DR Horton are in there right now. Richmond is coming soon. Brookfield has plans to expand and bring their paired home collection that they built over here back onto this part of the neighborhood, but they are the main land developer, so of course they can do what they choose with that land. So that's kind of the map, and again, we'll scroll out to give you some context as to where we're going to be at. Like we mentioned in last week's video, like I mentioned in last week's video, Brighton gives you the opportunity to own a home on land without giving up the amenities and the convenience of living in town, and I'll show you that. So right here is all new development right now. They're building this in. We jump across I-76 and the frontage road right here. You're in your acreage properties, just across the street. I mean, literally from right here to right here, 5 minutes if you're waiting on the train. So just for some more context and some more clarity of some of the things we've mentioned in the last video here. Now, this is a map on our new website, vestorrealtygroup.com. You can see home, buy, sell, and we do offer property management services as well. We have a little over 100 properties under management. So if you are interested in those services, we can definitely help you out with those too. Now, from here, this is where we're going to transition back and show you what the neighborhood looks like. So we are going to start. We're going to go in the same order that we just went in here on the map tour. We're going to start in the original part of Brighton Crossing, move to the second part of Brighton Crossing, and move to the new part of Brighton Crossing. Now, Brighton Crossing has a ton of amenities that are making it super popular. On the original side of Brighton Crossing over here, this is where your Venture Center, which is your massive rec center basically just for the neighborhood, and your community pools are. Over here on this part of Brighton Crossing is where the original fitness center was built, and this is also where the dog park is. And then over here right now, it's just houses on the newest part west of 50th.
So we're sitting here in one of the many community parks within Brighton Crossings. Now this park, if you're looking on Google Maps, is actually Brighton Crossing Community Park.
Yep.
We'll show that here. It's actually called Volley Park.
Yep. So, according to the signs, as you're walking up, it says Volley Park. Of course, the rules: open sunset to sundown, no alcohol, no glass beverages, stuff like that. Exactly what you'd expect at a family-friendly, family-oriented community park. So at this park, it's really neat. It's very well manicured. They have solar power for the community. We're sitting at one of the 3 verandas with picnic tables. This is right smack in the middle of the new part of the old part of the neighborhood, if that makes sense. So the part of Brighton Crossing we're in was originally started to be built late 2000s,
late 2000s, yeah.
2007, 2008, and this is going to be weird to say out loud, but in the late 2010s, that's just odd to say. In the late 2010s, 16, 17, 18, they started redeveloping back here. This is when we saw an absolute flurry of growth in both Brighton as a whole. I mean, this community is so huge, the amount of people moving here impacted Brighton's residency as a whole. So sitting back here in this part, like I mentioned in the map tour, the new part, which we're going to take you to and we're going to show you, is being built by Brookfield and D.R. Horton, with Richmond coming soon. This part of the neighborhood, they closed out. Brookfield was the last one to close out, and they closed out in March of this year. But prior to that, we had D.R. Horton building back here. We had Lennar back here. Fun fact, Lennar still has their model up as of the time we're filming this video. Odd, they closed out a long time ago. David Weekley was back here, and of course Brookfield. Brookfield's the master developer for Brighton Crossing, so they're going to be everywhere throughout the community. This is a mix of single-family residences and the paired homes that we were mentioning earlier, paired homes with side yards and alley-load garages. Then of course you have your more traditional single-family residences.
So as we drive and walk around this neighborhood, there's certain things that stand out about this neighborhood. One is, like you said, it is the newer part of the old part of Brighton Crossing.
Yeah.
So everything here is relatively new. The landscaping's very well maintained. It's got a newer feel to it.
Yeah.
Nice and crisp landscaping feel. The park, you can tell there is a line of trees you can't see from this shot that go down the sidewalk.
Yep.
That once those mature is going to add a ton of shade to this park. Unfortunately, right now there's still a little more new as far as the growth pattern of the tree. But you can tell that even though it is newer, people do have a sense of pride in their properties, because these properties, even with the builder grade landscaping that's gone on, they're doing some things in here that really amp up the property, the curb appeal, to say. people are really taking pride in what I see here. So
yeah, I mean, it's very evident driving through neighborhoods where there isn't a lot of pride of ownership and community pride versus being in a neighborhood like this one, like Brighton Crossing, where people are proud to say they live here and proud of the house and the property that they do live in. And a lot of that is visible in how they maintain and take care of the property. So in this part of the property, I can already tell you just by where we're at one of the picnic tables, we have Brookfield to the left, David Weekley's paired homes right across from us here, and of course we'll show you all of this. These are some David Weekley's, we've got Brookfield, we have some Lennar houses on that side. So my whole point of that is those are higher end, more prestigious builders, if you will, purely in my opinion. David Weekley and Brookfield are known for much bigger communities, much higher end properties. And what's really nice about the prices here in Brighton Crossing is you're getting very high quality builders, quote unquote luxury builders, but because of how they operate, how they traditionally build bigger houses, much larger price points, you know, the deep 8, 9, even 7-figure price range with some of these builders, a lot of the quality of the properties are trickling down because, of course, builders buy everything en masse because it's cheaper and that's how they've negotiated with their suppliers. But so you take a luxury builder who's building a cheaper price point, you're getting way more value for your money that way. And like we've talked about in other videos, it's really neat to see just the amount of quality and the amount of work that they've been doing to the Brighton Crossing neighborhood. Now, all HOAs are a pain in the ass. That's just, I'm not worried about saying that. That's just fact of life. Taxes in an HOA.
Not all of them.
Pain in the ass.
They definitely can be.
But it's really nice with the Brighton Crossing HOAs. They're on top of the maintenance. You can drive through some communities that have an HOA that don't do anything but tell you what you can't paint your house and forget about the rest of the stuff that they're supposed to do. As we've been filming here, we've seen the community landscapers out taking care and maintaining the neighborhood so it always looks nice and looks good.
Okay, so as promised in the map tour part of the video, we are now in the second part of Brighton Crossing that was developed. This is the one that is south of Bridge Street. But before we show you that, I want to just take a quick second and talk about neighborhood amenities. So within Brighton Crossings, of course, you'll have your parks, your walking trails, your open spaces. Now within Brighton Crossings, especially with where we're standing, you've got access to a large and small dog park. We have the original fitness center, which we'll show you guys. But also within the neighborhood, there's banks, gas stations, there's a King Soopers that we will show you. So if you move to Brighton Crossings, you buy a home with us in Brighton Crossings, your grocery store right there. You don't really have to go very far. Everything you could need to thoroughly live here and enjoy here to the max is already here, and they're going to keep expanding and keep developing and keep adding to the area and to the neighborhood.
So before we go too far, King Soopers. So if you're watching this from out of state, you may not understand what King Soopers is.
Yeah.
Definitely more of a Midwest brand. It's actually Kroger's.
Yep.
So King Soopers is a Kroger's.
It's a Kroger brand.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
All of the King Soopers brand stuff that we buy here says Kroger right on it. But it's a huge grocery store chain. This is a super King Soopers. It's got clothes, electronics, household stuff, car cleaning equipment, groceries, everything. It's a big store right within the community. And I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you as we drive by it, because we owe you some footage of the model homes that are up and still being built here. It's within the Brighton Crossings community. It's got a sign, Brighton Crossings, King Soopers, Starbucks, dentist office, bunch of little stores. Brighton Crossing has a ton to offer. Okay, so as promised, we are taking a look at now the model homes that D.R. Horton and next Brookfield are building in the community on the new side. So let me show you the price sheet. They've got some specials going on as far as pricing and incentives and stuff like that go, but then we will walk through the place and I'll point a couple things out. So like I said on the map tour, these guys are in the fives. What they're building everywhere between D.R. Horton and Brookfield are in the fives. Like I said, these guys are mid to high fives. So we've got 585, 548, 579. You can see 2,500 square feet, 1,700 square feet, 27. But what's interesting, D.R. Horton is starting to offer their 3-car garage products again and products on basements, which they stopped doing here for a while. Okay, so this is the D.R. Horton model that they have. They only have one model up. They're building 200 or so lots on this part of the neighborhood. Walk through, just show you kind of what it looks like. So we have to modify the plan a little bit. It was just brought to our attention that Brookfield has sold off the remainder of their lots and are closing out their half of the community. Brookfield put up about 110 or so houses sold off to Richmond. So when Richmond has models up and they've started building, they're building their Seasons collection. They're more entry level, lower price point, all on crawl spaces, really nice floor plans. So once Richmond has started building, we will come back, we will make an update to this video. We will call it Brighton Crossing's update video, and we will go show you what Richmond is building. But by the time this video is published and you are watching it, Brookfield will have been out, no longer selling, so really there's no point in showing you what's there, because unfortunately they're sold out and they're closed. But let's finish walking through the D.R. Horton model here. So the sales agent told us there's tile in the bathroom here. All of their bathrooms are going to be standard quartz. Now, if we go back over here to the laundry room, and this is why she called it, because there's this Formica countertop in the bathroom up here.
And also the floor in the laundry room.
And the floor in the laundry room is press-on vinyl, but in all of their houses, they're doing tile flooring in the laundry room and quartz in the bathrooms. Quartz in the kitchen is optional. They do have a granite option as well, so still really nice, just to help keep prices down. So as promised, now we are in the new part of Brighton Crossing. So right behind us is actually the part of the neighborhood that Lennar built. They came in, put up about 7,500 houses, and then closed out. They sold out. Right back here now off of Thistle Street, and back here is Brookfield. Behind us, this is some of the last that Brookfield is developing. We learned that Brookfield sold out. Richmond is moving in soon. As promised, we'll come back, we'll update the video with Richmond. But right now, there's not a whole lot to look at in the neighborhood. So we'll kind of walk and talk a little bit here on the new side of the Brookfield Brighton Crossing. So a little bit of ways, there's tons of green belts and walking trails throughout the neighborhood, as you can kind of see in front of us. Swinging behind here, this is part of their mosaic collection. Now, the difference with the Brookfields compared to the D.R. Hortons, the largest Brookfield model, their biggest house that they built with a basement, caps at around 2,500 square feet. The D.R. Horton steps in, their smallest is 16, their largest is, what was it, like 3,000 with the basement. So tons of space, tons of choices. Now the Richmonds that are being built, the little information we have about those, that's the Seasons collection. That Seasons collection is all on crawl spaces, but they range in size from 15 to 2,500 square feet as well.
You know, it is easy to see why Brighton Crossing is the most popular and hottest master plan community in Brighton.
Yeah, it's huge. It's full of amenities, and as you're doing more research about Brighton and what makes Brighton so great, we've got some more videos popping up on the screen right now, and we love hearing from you guys. We love making these videos. We'd love nothing more than to help you out when it comes time to buy a home right here in Brighton. Give us a call or text at the number that you see on the screen. We're ready for you and available for you days, nights, weekends, holidays, whenever. We'll see you guys in the next one.